morning, happy Monday, the week of Valentine's essentially, and we've been leading up to this week or month of love. We're continuing with the mindful article on ways to affect our attention. Let me just see what, gotta remind myself what it was. Feeling overwhelmed, 10 ways our brain reacts. And the one quote that came up that kind of links to our Valentine's is, paying attention is one of the most compelling ways we can show our interest, care, and love for others. So it's funny, there's that quote that says there's a reason that we were given 2 ears and only 1 mouth. It's hard to train yourself. I was raised in a family where we all jump in and chat and there is no stop and start. I'm married into a family that I call it monologues. One person talks, then we all wait, and then you're allowed to respond. To me, that feels a little forced, but that's probably a more polite way of speaking. And it is hard to train ourselves to focus on what's being said, not what we want to contribute to what's being said. So today, our final 10th one on how to help us, and look at this, I've already forgotten it again. How to help stop being overwhelmed, and especially during COVID. There's that combination of COVID, indoor time. There was a lot of political anxiety, so at least we've capped that out. Something you can do. So this is to give you a little bit of power in that whole anxiety piece. Your attention is trainable. Right now, you're in high kryptonite conditions. What can you do about it? This is the question we've been studying in this lab for many years, and we found an answer: practicing mindfulness. So there is hope. You can train your brain to be more attentive. Mindfulness meditation practice regularly protects us under these conditions, because mindfulness practice is about keeping your attention in the present moment, so you keep bringing it back. I think about, have you ever seen a level when you're building something and you lay a level on it and there's that bubble in the liquid and it keeps going to the side and you bring it back to the center, and it goes to this side and you bring it back to the center. That's what we talk about when we talk about watching our thoughts when we're in meditation or in yoga. If you notice that you're starting to veer back to what's happening in your day and not in this activity that we're doing in the moment, you can train your body to come back, and that's where we use the breath. The breath is like that bubble in the level. The breath is a simple thing you carry with you that maintains your life, so you can become mindful. Because mindfulness practice is about keeping your attention in the present moment. It is without judgment, elaboration, or reactivity. And it becomes kind of a mental armor against some of the most damaging habits of our mind. Mind wandering, rumination, and catastrophizing, which significantly ratchet up the conditions, like the times that we're living in now. And that's something I'm trying to help my son with. Instead of immediately jumping to that, what is the worst that's gonna happen, try to just stay with what we have control over and stay in this moment. Mindfulness practice helps restore your attention so you can regulate your emotions and relate to them differently by allowing them to arise and then let them pass away. So think about bubbles in your glass of water you've just poured. The bubbles rise to the surface and they dissipate. The practice trains us to keep our attention to the present moment and increase our ability to maintain an awareness of what's happening in the mind. So that we're not hijacked or fooled into believing that our thoughts are reality. Well, it's helpful to start training before you enter a period of high demand. You can start now and still benefit. In our studies, we've noticed 3 things. Short form programs of 8 hours of training show beneficial results within 4 weeks. 8 hours. I'll have to come back to that. There is a minimum difference. There's a minimum effective dose. You need to have a regularly daily practice in order to measure, attain improvement in your mind. So as little as 12 minutes a day for 3 to 5 days a week. Okay, I'm gonna say 2 minutes a day. 12 minutes, some of you may have the time and the patience for 12 minutes a day. I do not. And that's where I use the timer on my phone to help me. That's my other pocket meditation. With mindfulness practice, our mental fogginess begins to fade as our attention and working memory are protected and strengthened. Mind wandering decreases and our sense of clarity and well-being can bounce back. In this way, we're training our attention to be battle ready for the circumstances of the pandemic and any that encounter the rest of our lives. So I really like how positive that is. Instead of saying you all suck, your ADHD is kicked in, it does give you hope that you can work towards more focused attention. It all starts with, we're really good in this class of noticing our body nuances in the body. So that same level of heightened pinpoint attention that we bring to where does my core feel? What do I feel in my hip flexors? I ask you to look for these tiny cues inside your physical form, because later you can use that same attentiveness in your mental. And if you have a hard time with that, come back to breathing, counting inhale to 4, exhale to 4. We call that box breathing. Maybe staring at something is helpful to you. So that's a single pointed focus. We use that a lot. Maybe staring at a candle flame is helpful to you. For me, closing my eyes, shutting out all the other stimuli, and maybe using a measuring tool like your phone timer helps me focus on that. So you're gonna work on something, find something, and maybe share it with me if there's something that we don't cover that helps you stay focused or that you use for your meditation. I know a lot of you are actively walking outside in nature, and so in a way that's active meditation. The only thing I would say is that while you're doing that active meditation, your mind is doing a lot of noticing about your environment. And quite often maybe you're walking with somebody. I wanted to work on thigh work today. I know a lot of you asked me for that, and it's something that does affect all of us, especially if we're sitting or walking a lot. So we're gonna come to the mat. Slowly lie, and actually I'm gonna keep my knees bent for a moment. Bring your bum as close as you can to your heels, depending on your knee mobility, and lie your back down. Arms by your side, palms turned up. Spread the nails, anchor the nails and the bones of your hands down. Roll the shoulders back, anchor the flesh of your back and your arms down. I notice my belly wants to pop up, so I'm gonna engage my core and press my back down. Nice. Take a pause here for a moment and release the back. Press the back down and release. Press the back down and release. And ultimately we're starting that action of tuck, tilt, or cat-cow. Take your hands to your hips. Feet are 1 fist width apart. Now this action I think is to reset the SI joint. So you're going to press the left heel as normal, up and down knee. Right knee presses forward and release. And you're not probably going to see much happening in my body. Left knee presses forward. I feel a different thing happening in the left hip, and release. Right knee presses forward without lifting anything, and release. Left knee presses forward. There's a lightness in the left hip and glute, and release. Back and forth. And we're trying to stabilize this hip or unlock. We want to create equal mobility on both sides. Visualize one of those stair walkers that does this. Without going all over the place, I want to go forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. If you're like me and you have very loose hips, this is too loose, and so it takes a bit more effort. Another piece we can do, oh, someone's taking my blocks, so we're going to do it without it. Right knee in, left leg extends. Initially my heel is on the floor, now I want to lift it up 1 inch and dangle. And come back. Left foot down, left knee in, right leg extends. At first my heel's on the floor, and then lift it up 1 or 2 inches. Soft, relaxed feet, dangle. Switch, in, out. So you're gonna go back, and let's pause one more time. Right leg in, left leg dangles, and you can point and flex a few times. And then switch, left leg in, right leg extends, point and flex a few times. Let's take our knees in tight, press them together, flex the feet, pressing your toes, arches, calves, thighs, knees together, press, press, press. Then pull it in, so this is really tight. We don't come this tight into double leg wind relieving pose that often. Chin to the ceiling, pull, 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 pull. Imagine you to pull yourself into the tightest ball you could make. If you have a young person in the home or a light person, I like to have someone even stand on my shins here. And let's take our knees to the floor on the left. Try to keep them stacked. Then right arm opens to a T. What's happening in your upper back today? Back to center. Little boat. I sent you a link to Town of Aurora and Aurora Black Community events this month for Black History Month. An interesting one that's tomorrow. It's free. It's online. It's at 6:30 at night. Knees to the right. Left shoulder heavy to the mat. Is the cooking demonstration.
that should be interesting. I'm not sure which chef is running it, but I'm really enjoying the virtual cooking. Some of them, if they're through the York Region Food Network, will give you even some of the ingredients already measured. So far, nothing's been really hard. I finished watching the series Self-Made. It's on Netflix, and it's a really fascinating true story about the very first female millionaire turned the century, and she was black from her own hair care products. Back to center. Let's go side to side, keeping those legs still glued together, thighs activated. You can even interlace your hands behind your head. I'm massaging my lower back, I'm engaging my core, I'm getting a little ring out of the belly and the digestive organs. And then let's take right leg in, left foot in the air, flex, and slowly lower all the way down. Pulling right thigh in, single leg wind relieving pose, pressing left heel down. Left hand takes right knee over, single leg spinal twist, flex. Back to center, left leg in, right leg in the air, flex, and lower all the way down. Pulling left thigh in, single leg wind relieving pose. Does that feel good? Right hand takes left knee over, single leg spinal twist. Back to center, wide leg. Oh, yes, keep those knees bent. We'll start with our ankles dangling. Option to pull it in deeper. Option to come in a setup for happy baby. Option to take it a little deeper. Feet together, pause. Releasing feet to the mat, knees out to the side, cactus. Close your legs, feet in the air once more. Now let's roll out the ankles here. Point and flex. Fan out your toes. One direction and the other. Hearing a lot of cracks. Let's make fists with our feet and then spread your toes. Fist, spread. You really want to wake up that arch of the foot. Pada Bandha. Point, flex, point, flex. Legs fall wide while you're flexed. Notice that deep stretch, inner thigh. And then close your legs. Let's interlace our hands to support the right leg and slowly lower flexed left leg. Pause. Flex both feet. Now this may be super intense in your hamstrings. You might want to give a little massage. Now my calves are tight. And strap to the ball of the right foot. So lately I've been doing a lot of, if I don't get my 10,000 steps in, which is easy to not get them in when it's so cold out, I'm putting on YouTube a bunch of music that I love, pretending I'm at a wedding or at a dance club. I'm having my own little dance parties, and I can't believe how quickly you're able to get your heart rate up and warm up your body and get those steps in. I'm just going to start stirring this leg. I really want to create the range of motion from my right hip. Monday we tend to be tight. Both straps in the right hand. Release that leg out to the side and pause. Left hand's going to massage left hip, flex. Option to take it to a T. And you're able to slowly release your exhale without losing this flexed physical form. Leg to the sky, strap in the left hand and take it across the midline. Maybe a little further. Shoulder girdle stays down. Back to the sky. Let's take it back to the right hand. One last variation. Pointing to the upper right corner on a diagonal. Back to center. Upper left corner on a diagonal. Back to center. Get rid of the strap. Hug your knees into your chest. Egg beaters or a little boat. Feet in the air once more. Flex. Interlace behind the left leg. We want to support it while we slowly lower the right leg. Maybe massage this leg. Point and flex. Roll out the ankle. Take our strap to the ball of our left foot. Press that heel to the sky. Wake up the back lines of the body. Option to stir this leg while you're pulling down. Call that counter pressure or resistance. Pull straps in the left hand and let that leg fall out to the side. Leg to the sky, strap in the right hand and take it across the midline, either partially for that first level IT band stretch, or massage, or take it all the way over. Back to the sky, last variation. Strap into the left hand. Imagine you're pulling it kind of slightly back into the upper, your toes are pointing to the upper left corner. It's just a suggestion. So what happens if my toes are nowhere near there, but my mind, I'm taking the body in that direction. Back to center, toes point to the upper right direction. Back to center, get rid of the strap. Little bow. And let's do quickly, let's do our shoelace pose. It's our quickie version of thread the needle. Knees into your chest, right leg crosses over left, line up those thighs and knees and pull it into the belly. Option to take it a little deeper. You're going to walk the hands down the shins and flex those feet. Some of you are going to grab the feet. Oh, this is how tight I am. Woohoo! And release, shake it out. Let's do the other side. Left over right. Line up the knees, hands on opposite knees, and draw those thighs into your belly. Option to take the hands further down the legs. Option to flex the feet. My hips have stayed squared off. And release, shake it out. Let's roll into a ball on our side. And imagine each transition is like a mini Shavasana. Can you completely relax here? And slowly come on up. Let's come onto the mat in preparation. Before our child's pose, this is a pose that not all of you enjoy. Knees pressed down, thighs are together, my feet are untucked, and I'm going to start to lean back. Just that action of leaning back, I can feel those quads turning on. So keep the thighs pressing together, knees root down. How far back can you go without the knees lifting? You might bring your hands behind you. This version I prefer to. Knees pressed down, hips lift, and ultimately I feel like we're getting the same stretch as if we were in bow pose. Press your chest to the sky. Press the floor away. Maybe let your head look at the ceiling. Press, 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 and then come back down, come all the way back up. Can we do the same thing, similar to awkward pose, but on our knees? Arms to holding imaginary beach ball. Knees pressed down, lean back, and come back out. And do that a few times till you feel those quads turn on, wake up. And we talk about this phrase, root to rise. Imagine the root to rise is actually happening with your knees in the floor. There's no feet involved. And undo. Some of you are going to get tired here, so you can tap out the legs. And now here's a version I really don't like. Toes tuck. Oh! And I've got my weight on my hands. I'm stretching out the toe pads. Option to come up into seated. Now this is really killing me. I used to comfortably get up and down, up and down, but I'm really being careful with my knee and my foot this week. Listening to my body. Oh, there I did it. And then press all the way up, not dropping your heels. That's one variation. Another nice stretch I like to do is come on my tops of my feet. I'm in tabletop. And I'm going to keep the feet untucked. The lift is going to happen here on the tops of the feet. So again, I would say half of you like this, half of you don't enjoy it at all. So you're going to go with what brings you pleasure. Press into the palms, lift the knees up. This to me feels good. And I might come in. I'm not going to do that a lot. Actually, I can feel my knee. Let's do our
plank, step back high plank. We've been doing really well at doing it for a minute every day, and hopefully you're feeling it easier in your body. Look down at your hands, the width of your mat, and those hands press into the earth. I have my fingers nice and wide, equal distribution of weight in all 4 points of the palm and the finger pads. And what makes this pose more doable in my body is shoulders, elbows, wrists stacked. Look back, my feet are about 1 fist width apart. I'm kind of on my tiptoes in the ball of my feet. Look at the top of your mat. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Don't let your head drop. Exhale. Inhale 3. Nice work. Exhale. Inhale 4. Exhale. Inhale 5. Exhale. Inhale 6. Exhale. Oh, look at that. Press into downward dog. Woohoo! Option to walk it in and drop your heels. Another hamstring stretch. Pressing your heart towards your thighs. And then we might come back up on the ball of our feet. And then back down on our heels. Lift your toes. Up. Lift the heels. Drop the heels. Lift the toes. Walk into forward fold. Let your head go for a moment. Knees are bent, so this is more attainable in your body. Arms to the side, rise, reach up. Wide arm swan dive. Half back, fold, plant. However you want to lower down, 1 breath, sleeping cobra. On the exhale, pick up your head, baby cobra. Press back, downward dog. Option to try to drop those heels depending on your feet and the calves and your hamstrings. Right foot forward, left foot back, high lunge. Hands release, feet together, fold, rise, heart center. Nice, let's keep going. We're gonna do a couple more. Inhale up, exhale fold. Half back, fold, plant. However you choose to come down, what's in your repertoire. 1 breath, sleeping cobra, inhale. Exhale, pick up your head, baby cobra. Press back, downward dog. Pedal that dog. Left foot forward, right foot back, high or low lunge. Press to the front foot, rise. Hands release, feet together, fold, rise, heart center. And I'll do more from the other angle. Inhale up, exhale fold, half back, fold, plant. However you get down, 1 breath, sleeping cobra. Pressing the tops of your feet down, pick up your head, choose your back bend. Could be cobra, baby cobra, or up dog. Down dog, right foot forward, left foot back. I'm pressing the ball of the foot down, heel lifts, press into that front right foot. Root to rise in the right leg. Hands release. Feet together. Fold. Rise. Heart center. And let's keep going. 1 last side. Inhaling up. Exhale, fold. Half back. Fold. Plant. Chest down. Sleeping cobra. Pick up your head, baby cobra. Take it a little further into up dog. Down dog. Left foot forward, right foot back. You know we do that as a modification for swinging that leg through. Historically, people would do that. Feet together, fold, rise, heart center. That is the cue that teachers have used for years, but some of the teachers I work with, 10, 15 years older than me, I can see what happens to the hip. It does eventually shear on the bone. These cues that we've been doing for years, they were meant for male bodies. They're also meant for people who did yoga all day full time, not just part-time. So, a pose that most of you seem to really like is one that we're going to come on our right side first. I support my head in my hand. Feet are flexed. I'm going to look down and I can see the balls of my feet aligned. Arches, heels, thighs, calves. So this pose is often used for core. I like to use it for activating my quads and really just paying attention to
activated joints and muscles, not just flopping around. If you're a very flexible person, sometimes it's easy just to be floppy in your practice. Right, left hand's in front, tented. I'm gonna push that into the mat, flex my left foot and rise. This is where we often will put a block. I know some of you are gonna naturally do this, but guess what I just did? To achieve that height, I had to rotate this hip, left, externally rotate. Come back to both feet facing forward, and you might put a book or a pillow or a block on that left ankle so that you can't cheat. Flex, and I sometimes will feel what's happening in my left hip flexor. And how high can I go without externally rotating this hip? Flex, pause, press to that heel. This is super intense for me. It's waking, actually engage the glutes, wake up the back chain of the body, and slowly lower down. Let's do it 2 more times. Flex, rise, and bring it down without losing that flex. You're really waking up, stabilizing the hips instead of open, which is the opposite of what we did with the strap. Last variation, lift that leg up, pause, exhale down. That is super intense. Soften into a side child's pose as a little break. And then extend out. One more time. The other variation we're going to add is a little bit balanced, a little bit core. Bring back out, feet are out, stacked, flexed. Left leg as high as you like. Press those left fingertips on the mat, and can you lift the under leg, flexed? I think of my legs as chopsticks here. So imagine you're holding some very yummy dim sum, and then can you go up and down, all core, all glute, and release. The last variation, some of you, I think Liz and Paul, made this up one time years ago in class. We call it the hands-free version. So I think of my body as 2 sets of chopsticks. Feet are flexed, arms overhead flexed, holding an imaginary wonton. Feet up, arms up, and lower down. Up, and lower down. And bring in your knees, side child's pose. And then press upright. Let's do the other side. Lying on my left side, left hand holds my head, legs are supported. You might notice one side of your body feels more balanced than the other. Right hand is tented in front, flex. Let's lift the right top leg as high as I can without cheating. Sometimes as a way to wake up our glutes and work on a balance, I might put the block or the book on my foot and bring it forward and back, forward and back. I'm not feeling it today. So you're gonna go up and down. What is your range of motion without twisting that hip open? I'm trying to break these patterns that we automatically do things sleeping. We lead a lot of our lives on autopilot, and in the Buddhist world they'll call it asleep. We really want to be awakened. And that's where this attention to detail, what do you notice today in your body versus yesterday, or in this moment versus tomorrow? Okay, next variation. Flex, right leg up, under leg up, there's my chopsticks. Pause, and come back down. Tell me where you felt that. For me, I can feel it in my IT band, my outer right hip, glute, that whole area. Okay, one last time, and your choice, this is optional to add the hands-free variation. Right leg up, right leg up, left leg up. And can you engage the core, hold, I can feel it moving. And come on down, side child's pose. And then upright. I am going to grab 2 blocks that I will be adding to this particular pose, only so I can protect my knees. Some of you may or may not. I think I left my other pink blocks to somebody. I cannot find them. So this pose called the gate. You will often hear me tell this story. If you drive on some of the back roads around the region like St. John's or even Wellington, quite far west, there's a lot of beautiful elaborate wrought iron gates protecting some of these gorgeous mansions. I feel like this pose, our body is that gate. So I'm going to take 1 block to the left. In yoga, we often start with the left side of the body. It's a question we might ask, why the left? I'm left-handed, so that's my natural inclination. But I did find out it's to honor the mother.
Something about the left side throughout yogic practice honors the mother, and I think it's because the bigger side of our heart and the drainage of our heart is through the left side of our body. When you're pregnant, you're encouraged to sleep on the left side of your body. If you have blood pressure issues, there's a theory that sleeping on the left side of your body contributes to better blood distribution through the heart and your whole body while you're sleeping. So I'm going to take this block to the left. I'm going to place it at high, maybe medium. I'll show you the pose without the block. I'm going to extend, I'm standing on my knees. I instinctively tuck my right foot. You can leave it untucked. Left leg out. At first my toes flex up. This is one of the few yoga poses where you might point, almost like a ballet class. Arms to the sky, reach up. Holding that imaginary beach ball, engage the core, lengthen. So you can feel that lengthening down the right side. Left hand drops and arc. So I might diagonally arc or I might go a little deeper. Historically, I would have put my weight onto this leg. I don't like that. It's really not good for my knees. So I'm going to take my weight to the block. You can do a flexed palm, no hands. That's for core, but again, I don't like the function of it pressing down on my joints. So I'm going to arc, so diagonally, or arc. Option to take your hand at the base of your skull, bend the elbow to the ceiling and look up. And then come on out. I'm going to take my right hand to the floor, we're still working on the same side. Left foot flat, about to sneeze. Left arm in the sky, or over your head, palm down, lengthen. And now my left foot is flexed. I'm reaching through the heel and the left palm. Option to take your hand to the head one more time and look at the ceiling. Option to take your hand behind you and kind of try to find your right side body. Undo, extended child's pose. Did anyone else feel all that side body stretch we did the other day? I could totally feel, especially my pecs, the next day. Okay, other side. Standing on my knees. Option to tuck the left toe. Right leg extends. I'm going to take that block on the inside of my right calf. And maybe I'll take it lower. Arms to the sky, reach up, lengthen. Engage the core. Imagine someone's grabbing your wrists and creating all this length in your body. Right arm drops. Remember, historically I would come to my leg, but I want to go onto this block. Left arm reach. So first time up, diagonal, and then arc. Option to take your hand to the base of your skull, left hand. Left shoulder back. Option to take it behind you and look up. Come on out. Left hand to the floor beside your left knee. Right leg lifts. This is where you could also put a block on that ankle to experience better balance. Right arm in the sky, flex. Or across your head, palm down. Or to the base of your skull, look up, stack shoulders. Or behind my back, trying to find my left side body. Undo, extended child's pose. And we'll do one last leg stretch. This time it's more focusing really on hamstrings. We're going to come into Dandasana or staff pose. You'll notice we keep revisiting this pose, which is kind of the basis of most seated poses. It's essentially the seated mountain pose. So feet are flexed, sit up nice and straight, palms by your side, on the mat, tented or on blocks. Shoulders back. Now keeping this shape, let's take our arms to a T. Palms forward, reach up the imaginary block, engage your core. Let's stay here 3 breaths. Inhale 1, exhale. I can feel my sits bones rooting down and my heels rooting down. This beautiful stretch in between those 2 points. Reach up, blades of my fingers pointing forward. And then on the 3rd breath, exhale full, but I don't have to go very far. I literally am passing this block to someone across the room, staring across the room or at my toes, but not dropping my head. How far do your hamstrings want you to go? And then come all the way out. Nice work. Let's read this one. Crazy love notes to ourselves. This is Valentine's week. Let's see what the message is for us today as all these cards fall out. Hopefully you will get outside. I see it's ridiculously cold, but I notice tomorrow is, oh, this is fun. Actually, actually like this. Maybe the cold weather is keeping us inside on purpose for some Marie Kondoing. Spruce up your nest. And I especially like this picture because, you can't see it, I love vintage trailers. It's time for a little spring cleaning. Your home is sacred and your surroundings matter. Honor where you recharge and fill it with beauty. Make space by giving away or donating what you don't need. Your clutter could be someone else's gold. Plus, when we have less to process physically, we have more room to process things emotionally. A clear head and new room for great art awaits. Spruce up your fabulous nest. And I have read many references to how there's a connection between our mental clarity and lack of if your physical surroundings are not clean. The number one thing they said is if you were to spend the time to tidy up your kitchen, clear the counters, empty the sink, at night before you go to bed, how much better you feel setting your day, your mindset for the day the next morning. Thank you so much for your effort. The good in me sees the good in you. Namaste.